Hi, I'm Peter Patel Schneider, and I'm reporting on work I did with Ege Dogan on class order and Wikidata. Wikidata is a large community-built knowledge graph that is used to support Wikimedia projects and other applications. Wikidata has a class-based ontology using instance of and subclass of properties. The instance of property relates an item in Wikidata to the classes it belongs to. The subclass of property supports a generalization hierarchy for classes. The Wikidata ontology is large, with about 4 million classes, and complex, with regular classes such as human, classes of classes such as ship type, the class of all classes, class, and more. Class order is an important aspect of complex ontologies like the Wikidata ontology. In a nutshell, a class is first order if none of its instances are classes, a class is second order if all of its instances are first order classes, a class is third order if all of its instances are second order classes, and so on. Such classes are said to have a fixed order. Note that a non-empty class can have at most one fixed order. Violations of the requirements of class order indicate problems in an ontology. Most classes in Wikidata should have a fixed order, and most of these should be first order. For example, because physical objects are not classes, physical object, human, ocean liner, and forefrontal liner should all be first order classes. There are, however, many classes in Wikidata that should have a higher class order. For example, ship type should be a second order class because its instances are first order classes. There are some prominent classes in Wikidata that should not have a fixed order at all. For example, class, the class of all classes, should not have fixed order because it includes first order classes, second order classes, and more. These classes can be said to have variable order. Wikidata has classes that specify the class order of their instances. The classes physical object, human, forefrontal liner, and ocean liner are specified to have first order in Wikidata because they are instances of first order class, or subclasses of a specified first order class. The class ship type is specified to be a second order class in Wikidata because it is an instance of second order class. What Ege and I did was build on previous work about finding problems related to class order in Wikidata. We created and ran queries against the RDF dump of Wikidata to systematically find classes that had multiple specified fixed orders, find classes with minimum class orders that had violated their specified class order, and find classes that had a specified fixed order and had an instance that was also a subclass of the class. These classes, the classes we found, all violate the requirements of class order and thus indicate problems. It was necessary to run queries to find these classes because even though Wikidata can specify the fixed order of classes, the software behind Wikidata does not keep track of class order. Creating queries that could do this was difficult. Some of the initial queries we tried were too resource consuming to be run on any existing Sparkle engine. The query to find classes that are specified to be first order is hard itself for Sparkle engines because it contains a complex property path. The query cannot be run in the standard Wikidata query service, so we had to use the QLever Sparkle implementation to run it. What we found was that there are many classes in Wikidata that have problems with class order. For example, nearly all classes that have a specified fixed class order above first order have multiple specified fixed orders. Remember that a non-empty class can have at most one fixed order, so classes with multiple fixed orders indicate problems in Wikidata. Aside from the many classes that had multiple specified fixed orders, there were also many classes whose instances did not fit their specified fixed order. For example, the class human is a first order class in Wikidata. So all instances of human should not be classes, which means, among other things, that they should themselves not have instances. But there are several instances of human that did have classes, notably Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, which both had Benifer as an instance. So human does not satisfy the requirements for being first order, and again, there is a problem. The results that we obtained this way only show that there are problems, not what should be done to fix them. It is obvious to us that the fix for Benifer is to remove it as an instance of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. But we can see this only because we can see that human is correctly a first order class, and that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are both correctly instances of human. Our queries do not tell us this, though, and human involvement is often required to determine the fix to the problems we found. Other problems our queries identified have to do with mixing up instance of and subclass of relationships. For example, the class dish violates the requirements for fixed order classes because paella is both an instance and a subclass of it. This is a common problem in Wikidata, where there is often a confusion between the instance of and subclass of properties. Problems resulting from this confusion make it difficult to determine just what the meaning of many classes are. For example, is dish a class of actual things we eat, and thus first order, or is it more likely the class of types of things that we eat, and thus second order? Fixes to this kind of problem generally first require determining what the meaning of the class is, and only then examining and fixing its instances and subclasses to make them match the meaning. After we found all the problems, we started trying to fix them. We have not yet been able to substantially reduce the number of problems that we found. We do believe, however, that showing class order problems to Wikidata editors when they make edits would help reduce the number of incorrect statements in Wikidata. We also believe that emphasizing improving Wikidata over enlarging Wikidata would help to make Wikidata more useful. For more information on what we did, you can read the extended abstract or the longer description of our work and archive. Thank you.